All right, welcome, Anna. Thank you so much for your patience once again. So let's dive in first. I did not hide your name. Okay, see that. Okay. I need to check one thing really quickly before I start my messages. Okay. I think you said that it was exactly at this time. Okay, here it is. But I checked my birthday. I was born here, so it is normal. Okay, so okay, yeah, so you're exactly 6 a.m. Very rare. So, all right, cool. So, all righty. And we have wow, sun rising in Cancer, born at 6 a.m. So, yeah, the sun's rising. Very, very good omen. Um, we've got a lot in the 12th house, Gemini, but we got some really good stuff in there. Really good stuff in there, and then Saturn. And we got eighth house moon, no surprise that you're into astrology, in the occults. In Aquarius, conjunct Uranus. Okay, I got you. And then we have some Aries Mars energy with Pluto on it. Or not Aries, Sagittarius. North node is, yeah, in Cancer, so in the same sign as your sun, which means, let me just see. Yeah, so you were born right after an eclipse, or a few days after eclipse, right? Yeah, because if you would have been born, yeah, that's very interesting. Anyways, okay, so first things first, what is the relationship with Cancer as you're rising in your sun and North Node? So we're really trying to move towards that energy, right? Let me see as the camera just turn off. Okay. Oh, come on, are you serious? I'll be like sharing the screen with my special crystal, the power crystal. Um, so this is very interesting. Okay, well, hold on. Let me see. Is it because I'm doing? Okay, well, let's just share the screen. So hopefully it stops doing that. But um, let's show the chart. My camera like stopped working. I was about to buy a new one, and then some random thing some random setting I just randomly changed, fixed it. But now it's doing that thing where it's like, or I just started doing that thing where it turns on and off. But now it's staying on. We'll see. But okay. So, but before I go into that, I just want to like kind of scan the aspect. Um, and I can't even trust my programs to like look with my bare eyes because they've lied to me before and said there's like no opposition when it's like 7 degrees away. Um, Okay, moon, most important. So yeah, obviously the conjunction moon in Black and Lilith and moon and Uranus is huge. Sun being on the rising is huge. All right, so lots of conjunctions. So yeah, the Sag energy will be opposing the Gemini energy. So that will be the big one. There's nothing really in Capricorn. I mean, like there's series, but the sun isn't going to be aspected in a difficult way. The moon, there's no fixed. Yeah. So no like crazy aspects. The only one is Mars opposite. Well, I mean Chiron has some. Chiron is opposite Mercury, and then or just one, and then Mars is opposite Saturn. So what does it all mean is the question. Um, well, whoa. And what would be the opposition there? So it'd be Mars at 1513. So yeah, like I just said, Mars and Saturn, and then Venus and Mars aren't opposite, and then the Mercury is opposite. Yeah, the Chiron. Okay, so it's not like a crazy clash of the Gemini versus the Sag, but it's still an axis we'll have to talk about. Okay, yeah, catch a breath. Okay, so Aquarius moon, Cancer sun in the first house, Cancer sun, might I add, on the ascendant. So this is definitely split territory, um, psychological split, where there's the two main parts of the psychology of the individual, the sun and the moon, the feminine and the masculine part are at great odds with each other. Now it's not a quincunx by degree, but it is by element. And basically, like, you know, when the sun and moon are 5 signs away, not a lot of astrologers like go to this very basic level that's so important, right? Like how does the sun and moon get along? I know my camera just stopped working, but I think it's still on screen share. I know it's still on screen share. But basically, 5 signs away, there's not like tension, but it's like both signs are very, very different. On one hand, you have your Cancer side, your sun, in the first house of Aries, right? Ruled for the Aries house. So, you'll be a more assertive Cancer, I would say. Someone who someone who really runs their life with their emotions. Someone who has strong emotions. Someone who other people, even though they're Cancer rising, might not like just think like, oh, she's for sure a Cancer. Because sun rising, regardless of the sign, just adds kind of like an Aries vibe, regardless, like an assertiveness, of confidence, a lot of purpose, and obviously Cancer and Aquarius, are about two, they're just so different, right? You got Cancer, which is water, which is your sun, which is about emotion, sensitivity, family. You know it. I don't have to go into the home, the divine femininity, caring, nurturing. It's the nurturer. But one thing that Cancer doesn't really get that much credit for is being like a boss when it comes to business and when it comes to that world, right? Because it is cardinal. And I think that when you combine that, I think first thing for sure, I think you make a great leader. The first thing I'm saying right off the bat. But so the Aquarius moon side, right? Air moons are known to, especially with Black Moon Lilith there, to be a little bit aloof when it comes to emotions. It's very interesting when you consider the fact that you have a Cancer sun. So I think you got the follow up, I'm pretty sure. And I'd be very curious to know how that's worked out in your life, right? Because Aquarius is a sign that is, Aquarius moons are extremely humanitarian. They're extremely caring when it comes to like the collective, when it comes to the big picture and causes they believe in. They have an emotional need, uh, you know, such an emotional need for freedom, which could be another thing that these two have. What I think the fact the sun is in the first house and the moon's in the eighth house is very interesting too, because it's kind of like flipped a little bit, right? In the sense that eighth house is Scorpio and your moon is in Aquarius in the eighth house, right? Which is more to the flavor of the Cancer sun. And then the sun in the first house of Aries is more to the flavor of the Aquarius. So it would like your chart would like make a lot more sense, not like sense, but it would be like a lot more normal, or let me think of a better word than normal. It would be like you'd be yeah, I guess it'd be more typical, right? In terms of like the dignities and what planets are supposed to work well and or what signs are supposed to work well and what planets. If your sun was in Aquarius in the first house, your moon was in Cancer in the eighth house, right? That would just be like a very easy chart to read. Um, but no, it's different. But it's very interesting. So the moon in the eighth, right? Um, with just being a Cancer as your identity, I think it adds this element where you're able to kind of, well, of course, eighth house moon in Aquarius has this deep need to go beneath the surface. Any eighth house mooner, I don't care I don't care if you're an Aquarius or a Gemini moon, like you're still, someone who's very emotional. But the thing with Aquarius and air moons that they have this, I call it the on off switch with emotions, where it's almost like they can like feel things when they want to feel them. Like two things can happen, exact same thing can happen to the Cancer moon and to the Aquarius moon, right? And the Cancer moon cries about it, gets out of their system, all that, right away in the moment. And the Aquarius moon is just like whatever. Like sometimes Aquarius moons don't trust their emotions. They prefer logic, ideas. And the thing that I've always found so fascinating about Aquarius moons is how, and I know you've heard this, but like it's just so interesting. It's just like how some of them can be so aloof. Is that the right word? Aloof or just like disconnected when it comes to like personal relationships, which by the way, I'm meeting some Mars and Aquarius and a Sag moon. So like it's not like I'm much different. But then when it comes to like what they really care about, it's like they will like do everything. Like they had this like endless power reserve. And being a Cancer, you know, a sign that cares, right? Cancers give a shit about their friends, about the world. Um, Especially it being your North Node. They give a shit and they want to make things better. Now, I want to just highlight this right off the bat that Moon and Uranus in a conjunction is a huge indicator of a psychic ability, clairvoyance, potential. And there's, although you lack any, like me, like any Earth, like look at your Earth, like down here, like, it's just like, even though don't trust this element thing because it like counts everything equally, doesn't weigh them. But like, yeah, even on that, it's like there's no Earth houses, there's nothing. Um, so learning to ground your energy is extremely important. Um, once able to do that, once able to sit in meditation and contemplation, because you know your Mars and Pluto together, that's a especially Mars retrograde. I just had an article about that the other day or yesterday. Um, you know, that's a really dynamic energy, especially you know opposing Saturn, which might hold it back a little bit. It could lead to some self-sabotage that we're about today. But if you're able to find that creative outlet or just that purpose in general, right? You're gonna receive downloads when you can quiet the mind and sit, feel into the body. But when you're missing Earth, it definitely makes it hard. And trust me, you know me, like you follow me for you know me. You're in my group. Like it's so hard to have no Earth in your chart because when you get hit by like a tough transit, or just in general, especially if you get hit by like a tough transit, you know, it's very hard to wake up each day and feel like the same version of yourself. Now, I would say that being a Cancer would be a little easier, especially in the first house of identity. Having your sun in the first house of identity means that in your North Node there means that in a sense, a big part of in your North Node ruler is um, the moon in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus in conjuncted. Wow. I'm doing this all with my eyes closed, by the way, just so you know. That's like sometimes I don't want to for myself because I just like don't want to just like be meditating on camera with crystals in my hands. It looks weird. Um, so in essence, like you're in this lifetime, you're really trying to do multiple things. But one of them is you're trying to get more in touch with the feminine aspect and the spiritual aspect of you. So the axis of your nodes, your nodal axis, which is squared by anything? No. Let me double check that. My eyes. I guess. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So the midheaven is the only thing that squares it, which is so fitting. And I see, wow, that's very fitting for what I was about to say. So as I put together your past life story and kind of like try to, you waited for so long. I feel this in my heart, this gratitude towards you for some reason. I always have, even when we talked the first time. I don't even know. I just want to say that. And it's a little bit random. There's no follow up with that, but I just want to say that. But basically, there's been an imbalance for sure in terms of like the themes of like home life, career life, inner life, outer life, and having the North Node in the first house in Cancer is kind of like it's bizarre, right? It's like Aries and Cancer, how do those get along, right? Well, to me, it's very simple. It's like in past lives, right, with the South Node in the seventh house in Capricorn, there is too much rigidity in, I see as like a big like boss, like I don't even know, oligarch, just all this money, something like that. I don't know. But like there's a certain rigidity, right? And a certain um leaning towards the masculine too much and towards the material world. That's what that would indicate, right? But this is where it gets interesting. I think it's just like I think that it's been this back and forth imbalance in different past lives, and that in this life you're really trying to get that balance correct. So let me give you some further info. So the midheaven, which rules your career, is in Aries. Career, Dharma, what you're meant to do. So obviously, and your son's in the first house. So obviously, your North Node's in the first house. So obviously, you're really meant to be called to action in this lifetime, right? So if you're being called to action, and there's a square with the midheaven in the South Node, it makes me think that there's been another factor that's gotten in the way, right? And that's relationships. And if you think of Saturnian relationships, I think of very karmic relationships, ones that stand the test of time. And I think you've worked on a lot of relationship karma in recent lifetimes. And it might come easy to be in relationships and to commit yourself, to really fully commit yourself to relationships. It might come really easily, but it can also come at the detriment of you truly expressing, like learning that that moon in Aquarius, right? Like the authentic self-expression, and all that 12th house energy. 12th house is and 8th house are the two most spiritual houses, right? So it's like, I had an article not too long ago about being trapped in your South Node. So this is a perfect example of like if you were trapped in that seventh house um cap South Node, it would cut you off from all of these other extremely important parts of your chart, right? I mean, so right away that makes the relationships you choose extremely important, right? Very, very important. Um, they need to have a level, and of course Saturn is conjunct Venus, of course, with the South Node in the seventh house in Cap. And you're young, you're a youngin. Ooh, I love it, I love it. But basically, like, so yeah, now I have to, you are very, very young. Well, I guess my girlfriend's a year. younger than you, but still young. Wait, no, wait. You're younger than her. She's born 2000. Yeah. Okay. So that means that you are, yeah, okay. So I need to like kind of not switch up, but like I need to know that. Um, so it's very, very important, Anna, who you surround yourself with and who you enter relationships with and how quick you are when you like it's really important for you to take your time when deciding, am I going to give my energy to this person or that person? Because the Cancer part of you will want to, you know, it's a very romantic sign, Cancer. Doesn't get enough credit for how romantic it is. Um, Cancer Sun on its own likes to just chill, watch the Netflix, not Netflix, but just chill out, have like a nice cozy home life. And like when I speak about being stuck in the South Node here, it's like you have so many of the most psychic energies in your chart, right? And in order for you to access them, you need to find that solidity, lack of earth within yourself, right? You need to do things like yoga, like meditation, things for the body, things for the mind that get you into a position where you can be more stable, right? Where you can, not that you're unstable, but like where you can feel like you're giving yourself the best odds to wake up each day and be somewhat of a similar version of yourself. I mean, it's never going to be like that, but yeah, at least being consistent. You have a lot in the sixth house, which we'll talk about. But as an eighth house Aquarius moon, right? Um, which rules your north node. That to me says everything about the karmic journey. That the karmic journey for you is about authentic self-expression, learning that you are different than other people. Because here's okay, so now more downloads coming in. So as a South Node in Capricorn, Capricorn can be very, very conformist. And maybe you've had to struggle with that. Because Capricorn Moon is like the person, I don't want to say like the weirdo, because that has a negative connotation, but like, the person who's just different, who sees things, who's the genius, the person who sees the world through their own lens and doesn't allow any BS to kind of, get in its way, right? Like they're not going to be like they're not going to do something just because other people are doing it, right? So in past life, that's been sidelined by relationships, I believe. And then those relationships and then just the energy in general um have made it so you haven't been able to fulfill dharma as much, right? Dharma, career, whatever you want to call it. Another way of looking at it could be that it was actually your career, or there's a tendency to choose careers that are very, very much in the material world. Because seventh house can also be business partnerships, right? And that because of that, it has kept you away from it's kept you very, very in the loop, but not really giving you the time and space to go within yourself. So as an Aquarius moon, there can be a feeling of being the odd one out, the different one. Um, but then you have Venus and Jupiter in the same house. So like I don't care how far they are away, like that's always gonna be good. And you have your sun rising. So that's just like major power, major power, self-starting, and having, the Mars and Sagittarius conjunct Pluto is just like an explosive. It's like you have this like this energy within you. And that's why you're drawn to me, because my moon is like smack like, you know, over here, like right between your Mars and Chiron. Um, so there's this very so I mean, I can just tell you right away, like you in relationships, like you need a lot of freedom, and it's really important for you, as I said, to really know who you're like, to really take things slowly and to focus on yourself in this lifetime. Now, it doesn't mean not having relationships, but it means that they can't be the focus. Um, and I mean, you have Saturn in the 12th house conjunct, or Venus in the 12th house conjunct Saturn, and your Venus is in Gemini. So, you know, that's a very interesting one, because you haven't had your Saturn return yet. And we'll get into it a little bit later, but like it adds some conflicting energy because like it can be quite flirty, um, and very curious in love, and the Saturn can make it difficult to find the self-love because that's what Venus is at its core, and it's in the 12th house. So yeah, I mean, what I see like the classic. I mean, like a lot of indicators of someone who's meant to be a healer, especially since you're so young and you're already like into astrology. And we'll see what the asteroids and everything is saying later. Um, but having Moon conjunct Black Moon Lilith, that's like witch energy, and Uranus there too. But I want to go back to what I was saying. I'll get into all this in a sec. But like what I was saying basically was that so North Node, first house, Cancer, ruler of the North Node is the Moon, which is here in the 8th house, in conjunct Uranus, and then also Black Moon Lilith. So that literally means that as an air moon, which it might not be so easy to like feel into the emotions, you're still in this lifetime, you're meant to go through lots of really intense emotional experiences that transform you. The whole death, rebirth, transformation thing plays out, right? Now, it's important because like on an emotional level, you'll be someone who like I said, like I think you're probably psychic, and if you're not psychic, or if you don't think you are, like you probably just haven't like it's like a muscle, right? It's like something you have to like work on for most people. Um, but like it's very clear to me that you're here to be different and to accept that you're different and to not try to just like fit in with certain people. Um, I mean, I know you look like, so I know you're very pretty. I usually try not to know what clients look like, but and I haven't looked at your photo. I just or maybe yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, because I let you in the secret thing. But I know you're very pretty. Um, so and that's kind of cheating by me to know that. But because I usually like don't want to know anything about my clients, but it is what it is, right? So there could have been this pressure, which I keep picking up on, of like people trying to get you to conform, trying to get you in that battle between like um being like one of the, I don't want to say like popular girls or anything like that, but being like that or being true to yourself. And that's like the big back and forth. And we can go into this more in the follow-up, right? Um so with Moon conjunct Uranus, in Aquarius already, in the 8th house, like it can be difficult to handle, to get a grips of your emotional nature. And there's gonna be so much of a need for freedom that in relationships, as I said, like you if you don't have like a ton of space, it's not gonna work at all. Even as you being a double Cancer, like it's not gonna work at all, right? You need an intellectual connection, and you need someone. I don't want to say you need someone spiritual, and you might be like married or like in a partnership, and probably not married, but who knows? Never know. And then you might be like be in a very serious partnership, but like I'm just telling you, like that if the person like the person cannot block um that need for alone time, that need for for allowing yourself to just like go through life with that kind of trial and error energy, right? Like it has to be someone who like brings you up in terms of your confidence. Um, and who has their own shit going on. The whole like not in a bad way, but someone who doesn't like they love you, but they don't need you like to feel fulfilled, right? And that's what a healthy relationship should be like in general, right? Especially for an Aquarius moon. Um, Aquarius moons love when they because they can go through so much of their life not feeling seen. And with the eighth house moon, the emotions can come from such a they can come from like a very like dark and unknown place at times, right? So it's very important to like really, really feel seen for who you are, um, as a soul, as a human being. Um, like the little things, the little things matter a lot. And I could see that being tricky, being very pretty. Um, that's not neither here nor there. So as I continue to work through this, emotional, it's a tough task when you're a Cancer sun, but your moon's in Aquarius. So like like feeling the emotions can be difficult. So you almost have to kind of like force yourself to like feel them, right? Even being a Cancer. Um, and the best way, and it might not actually kind of want to backtrack on the force yourself to feel them thing. I want to backtrack on that a little bit. Um, unless it's stuck. But your chart has spirituality like written all over it. Literally doing something. I don't want to say like me, but like in the ballpark. I think your intuition, because like when you're a Aquarius moon, you have like a conjunct Uranus, like you have a view of the future. When you can really like, if you can really trust your intuition, like you can really start to like see the future and sense the future, right? And I know that you sense where astrology is going, and where spirituality and things of that nature are going. So, and you have a natural gift. I mean, like Jupiter in the 12th house, are you kidding me? Venus in the 12th house, even Saturn in the 12th house, like over time can become an asset. Mercury in the 12th house, all in Gemini. So, and then the eighth house moon, it's like, it's so good for like making you feel, making you be able to really sense the undercurrents of other people. So you can just be such a good like healer, and this is another reason why I think you'd be an amazing healer, is because as an Aquarius moon, like a lot of healers struggle. I don't at all as a Sag moon. Um, when they are told things that are triggering, like fucked up, like in my job when I talk to people, I hear a lot of fucked up shit, right? If you're doing psychology, you hear a lot of fucked up shit, right? And Aquarius moons are very good at being able to kind of separate and not be emotionally led, first of all, right? And that goes like that whole thing I said about you being a very good leader, is that sun rising is like one of the best things for leadership and just like presence in general, and um like swag. I don't know how to say it. It's very, very good for the body and for health as well. But just not like you like being able to compartmentalize and to see things from a higher perspective. And it's a very rare talent, right? So I want to talk a little bit about something very interesting because um so there's stimulation with the moon and Uranus of the hypothalamus in the brain. Um, which, it's a part of the brain that regulates attachment behaviors, parenting, things like sleep, fatigue. Um, and then the sun is the pituitary gland, right? So basically, the stimulation it stimulates like these very primal instincts, right? Which have a very huge impact on your life. Um, so a lot of times Aquarius moons had like a parent, maybe it was the mom that was either absent or a little bit different, emotionally detached. Um, but there could also be something in your family that's like, a trend around psychic type phenomena happening, right? So there's something there with ancestry. Now, this is what gets even more interesting is that the IC, which rules that, right, is squaring your nodes. So I just want to throw that out there that just the word ancestry, ancestors, like that's important for you. Eighth house is about that. I mean, fourth house is really about that. But having so much eighth and 12th house and having this conjunction is very interesting. We're starting to solve the puzzle, aren't we? No, we're just getting started. So yeah, there can be like some family history with like sudden events, like just like very can't talk, peculiar things that might happen. Um, on a psychological level, though, with the whole thing with the hypothalamus being stimulated, there can be lots of emotional volatility because that's what Uranus does. It's volatile. Of course, like it's not a square or an opposition, but um, yeah, I mean, it can be on the verge of hysteria, but it's not like it's usually not very long lasting, right? And what happens is that, and going back to relationships, is that there can be like this initial fascination, right? Especially the eighth house moon, right? Which is like the desire to on a relationship level to really like be one and be one with the partner with like soulmate, right? It's like that kind of energy, right? But then the Aquarius part of you, so it's like a contradiction, right? The Aquarius part's like, nah, fuck that. I'm good. I'm good alone. I just want to be me. I just want to do me. So yeah, you really got to watch out. It's the second time I've said this, like energy of like these like really intense initial fascinations in relationships because it can be really difficult for you, especially as a Venus Gemini, to have that interest stay over the long term. Now, I did just say the Venus Gemini. I haven't gone into that yet. There is Saturn conjunct it, which does really give you, even as a Venus Gemini, an ability to have very long lasting relationships. I just want to throw that in there. Um, so sometimes people have this can be a little bit detached from, not in your case, your Cancer, but this is another one of the contradictions, right? And you're gonna need to take notes of this, and we're gonna need to like talk about all this shit, and you have to remind me what I said, and we're gonna have to like sift through it because it's a very interesting, complicated chart that you have here, my friend. Um, so it can complicate things with and make one like a little bit detached from the family. Not like I don't love the like not like not loving the family, but yeah, it can just like create like just really like unique, just like where like the family, the energy and the way that you express emotions are just very, very different, right? Um, so overall, any Aquarius moon with Uranus is going to need a strong. They're gonna have a strong love for the shiny, for the new, for the exciting, right? And it can also be quite impulsive, which your Mars in fire sign retrograde. Actually, the retrograde helps you there, but Mars in Sag conjunct uh, Pluto can have that effect too, but it's retrograde. So yeah, it's just like what like once again not having Earth learn a huge karmic lesson is learning how to ground yourself and yeah. But another thing is that um technology, like the internet, stuff like that, is ruled by Uranus. So you can be someone who really benefits from that in some way. But a big thing I think with this is like, and maybe in past lives you didn't have this, is acceptance of your psychic abilities, right? Maybe they're shamed. I don't know. Maybe you don't talk about them with like family, or maybe family's not even like that big of a thing. I mean, for Cancer Sun, double Cancer usually is, but I don't know. Very, very hard to tell right now. So it's really important, like for the person with this moon sign, this aspect, to not feel like an outcast when they're growing up. Like, because it's very, like 100% that you were just different as a kid. Maybe you were like genius, just thought like outside the box, in ways that perhaps your parents or people, around you, like just for sure people around you, but like just other people didn't think like that. I mean, you're you're so young and you're for sure like one of these star seeds or whatever you want to call them, right? I know for a fact when like someone comes to me at this age, it's always significant. Um, it's not just a coincidence. It means that they have a really special spiritual like importance in this lifetime, and that they're getting a head start. So anything that may have happened in childhood, it every single healer is going through something difficult, right? Has has a difficult upbringing usually, right? I haven't seen many who haven't. So aside from that, yeah, so like how much your family's like accepted you and your psychic abilities and those like your your imagination, those parts of you that were just like a little bit different. Like if they just got you, like if your family is like also very similar to you, like with your energy, like if they're also like kind of like Aquarius, Sag, Pisces kind of types, then that's one thing. But if they're like a bunch of Tauruses, like all Taurus, Capricorns, then it's difficult. Um, and definitely as a Cancer Sun, you really want to feel like a valued part of your family, right? So it's a very important thing for you, right? So it brings up the idea of, if there is like let's say the family's like the CNN watching, like believing everything on the media says and this and that, and Mr. President that we currently have is the best ever, whatever, that kind of stuff. It's difficult, right? But Yeah, so it's an area of life that you really have to usually people with this place have to put in a lot of effort to achieve. Um, but yeah, you really need tons of freedom for your emotional expression. And it's also making you a rebel. Like you are 100% a rebel. So yeah, like once again, in relationships, like you need to know that your authentic emotional needs are being met. You can commit when that happens, but you need to take your time. Um, and you'll be really drawn to people who have created for themselves a type of life that makes them feel like who are really like in their purpose, where they're like very creative types, eccentric types, right? Not necessarily eccentric in a bad way, but just like people who aren't just like Wall Street or whatever because it's been in the family for 3 generations. Individuals, right? And the Aquarius moon makes you not really give a shit that much like about like status and stuff like that. I mean, Cancer Sun, you care about security. Descendant in Capricorn, the same. Ceres in Capricorn, you definitely like don't want to, you want to feel you feel nurtured by like basically like it's not like you're just meant to be like a spiritual person that just like isn't in the material world at all. Like there is a level of you that really wants to give back and to be very successful at what you do. And it's a huge part of your karma. Um, but like, yeah, you gotta just watch out for like being the person that works too hard in relationships and just goes for the wrong one. Um, because it's really important for you to have your own path, and the only way you figure out your own path is if you have time alone and you can just sit and be by yourself, right? Because you're such an empath, all the 12th house, 8th house, it's like you take in so much energy around you. And you can only the one great way to know like a certain individual's impact on you is to after you're done spending time with them, go spend time alone. And then when you come back to yourself, you can almost like kind of like math, right? It's like, okay, well I'm like okay, I'm 10 or 7 because Uranus is very linked to 7. Let me know if that number has anything to do with you. Let's say I'm 7 and when I'm with this person or okay, no, fuck that. I'm 10. I'm 10 out of 10. Um, or I don't know. No one's like 10 out of 10 happy. Let's say like okay, my baseline is this. Let's call it like a 7 out of 10. Um, now when I'm with this person, I feel like a 5 or 4, and then you go back alone, but you don't really know that, right? And you see if you start to feel better or like if the person took energy from you or gave you energy, right? Because it's very, very important. But the Aquarius moon, it does help you not take as much in as you were if you were like a Pisces moon. Um, yeah, so there's just like an electrifying connection with your unconscious, yet sun revelations about yourself as well as people that you know or that you're close with. Um, and then like they can be like very just like just hard cutting realizations that need to be just voiced right away, right? Um, so there needs to be the throat chakra needs to be open, right? And people need to value you for how inspiring you are and how inspirational and how you can think on your own and how inventive. But yeah, like I said, the whole thing about grounding yourself is so important. Um, yeah, and like giving yourself that space away from like the social scene. And it's important when it comes to friends, right? With friends, it's important to have friends who encourage your individualization, you know, who also are on a similar path. Not all of them. I'm not saying like all your friends have to be super, super spiritual, right? But it's good to branch out and to have people who are similar to you. So continuing on the theme of intuition, well, Lilith and Moon is like one of the most powerful of all with creativity intuition. So this is like going leading me into my eighth house discussion, right? So your moon eighth house, you know, you will feel moon eighth house people, they feel like on an emotional level, they can like separate their life into like different eras of like Anna one, Anna two, Anna three, where you felt like a different human being at these different points. Super intense. Wait, and I know everyone can kind of say that, but like what can happen is that you can outgrow people. That's like one thing I see a lot, right? And it's the you know the house of death, right? Um, rebirth. So it's like you could be fascinated with death, with the occult, and you have an emotional need to be involved in things like astrology. You know, you need to follow that gut. It's really important for you to follow your gut. Um, but with the Lilith and Moon, it's all about transformation. Um, so you're just very, very receptive, right? Um, it's this is like amazing. Like if you actually wanted to like do astrology, like I think you should, honestly, Anna. I think you should dedicate yourself to it. I don't know your life, but like I'm telling you, like I know. I mean, think about it. Like that's the only time I've ever just like allowed someone to enter my, you know, circle so quickly. Um, and that's karmic, right? Because that's God that's putting these messages in me to do these things, right? So now seeing this is just insane. And I think you could, I feel like the Aquarius moon will really help you not burn out. And almost kind of like Sag, like having the Sag Mars, it's going to help you like put the pieces together, right? You know, like put the pieces together of why this is like this and that's like that, you know? And really it makes one, you know, really want to travel physically and metaphorically and always be learning. Like that's like that quench of that 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 thirst for wisdom. So yeah, there's just like such a connection to like the subtle the subtle energies. And it's important for you to, as I said, I'm gonna say this as many times as I need to say it. You need to ground your energy. I don't know if it's Kundalini yoga, I don't care what it is, because it's like you have some fucking insane potential with this stuff. Like fuck. Because the moon is the most important, remember. So and because it's so unconscious, like it might be something that you have that you just think that other people have, but it's not true. It's not like that. Like other people are not like you. They don't have this potential to be a fucking mystic, psychic, whatever, you know, wherever you wanna go with it, right? Um, also gives lots of emotional courage, right? Because yeah, and it gives you that courage to take like the road less traveled, right? What else? So yeah, it speaks to more that like nonconformist energy, that freedom seeking, like just not giving like some people like a lot of people say I just don't give a shit. Like you really don't give a shit. Like you do, like in the sense like only like a sociopath like doesn't, but like with you, and it's gonna get more and more. It's like the more you see the value in what in potential and like, just all this talent. I'm telling you, this is like I don't say this in every reading. Go watch. You can watch every reading on my YouTube. See how many times I tell someone they should be an astrologer or something similar to that. Human design, numerology, whatever calls to you. Um, but if you do that, you need to message me. I teach astrology also, but like that's not why. Like I do one-on-one classes, and I definitely give a big discount for you if you're interested. Oh fuck, that sounds. I'm sorry. That sounds like I was like selling you my classes. I swear that wasn't what I was trying to do. Like you need to be an astrologer. No, take my no, 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 no. No, what I'm saying is that you have a lot. Like it would be a waste if you didn't use these abilities in some way, even if you were doing business. But like what I was saying, you need to message me is that like if you do resonate with that message, it's really important because um it has nothing to do with you taking classes with me. It's like it's really easy to go in the wrong direction because there's lots of fake prophets out there when it comes to astrology, a lot. But your intuition is so sharp that you'll know what's bullshit and what's not. Um, so yeah, it makes you some like a badass. Like I was gonna say badass bitch, but someone who just like people might idolize who only answers to themselves. But this is the thing. Black Lilith is about, it's in Aquarius. It's about also the lowest vibration you have, right? You at your lowest. So it's very important for you to not channel your emotions into a destructive way, right? Because there can be like legit, and I've been thinking about Kundalini yoga from the start of this, and it just keeps coming up for some reason. I did it for like a year, so less than a year, and it was like life changing. It's crazy, like what you feel, like just like the energy in your the Kundalini energy, like yeah. So yeah, like you can literally reach spiritual heights that you don't even think are like possible, right? So it's very special. Yeah. Um, that's crazy. I haven't seen someone with this note. I'm trying to think. But like I think this does also create kind of like a double-edged sword in a sense where your emotions can be your greatest ally but also your worst enemy because Black Moon Lilith like in Aquarius can be someone who at their worst just is completely detached and just doesn't give a shit and just like completely detaches from their true purpose. Does that make sense? And who lets go of people and things too easily and does like the low vibe Aquarius or air of just like just just being too high up in the sky and not grounding anything with respect to spirit, and it's important as a Sag Mars and moving to your Mars, right? For you to really look deeply at philosophy, your worldview, right? And have that, be something that goes into your day-to-day life, right? Um, your day-to-day life has to reflect, right, the Jupiterian qualities of your 12th house, 29-degree Jupiter, right, in Gemini. And that's about this mix of truth, right? Of, on one hand, spiritual truth, lower mind, and higher mind. Like the bringing together of the journalist who goes and gets the information, Gemini, right? All the different life experiences, but in the realm of spirituality, right? In the realm of service to others. Like this whole 12th house, right? It's about that. But yeah, like there's a big time need for you to go into your like, and this is probably why you've probably already really gone into your shadow a lot at your age, because look at this. I can get my freaking camera to work, but I'm gonna try in a sec. Like sun sat blah, blah. um Mars conjunct Pluto, both retrograde, but mostly Mars retrograde being the more important one. You know, that pushes one into their shadow quite young. And then when you add the Lilith stuff, right? I want to add more stuff about the Lilith stuff. I remembered some stuff. There can be lots of paranormal stuff that goes down, right? Of course, like, it can make you like someone who has like extreme like emotional power, like you can alter other people's emotions. Um, Someone who can connect to the other realms really easily, right? But there can also be what I want to add, like intrusive thoughts. And like a hard time. This goes back to like the issue with Aquarius, a hard time connecting to your true self, which your North Node in Cancer wants you to connect to your raw emotions and wants you to cry about stuff, wants you to to feel what you're meant, what your true earthly non-Aquarius alien self really needs to feel. A lot of times there's the mother figure that gave you a hard time. Um, where maybe you were like scolded for expressing your own emotions. So yeah, it can create issues with finding your true essence, which is like which is really like what this chart's all about. And also like it can indicate like that you maybe were bullied or like people made fun of you because of that Aquarius, just like different kind of the water bear energy, right? But on a developed level, it's someone who can completely control their emotions, um, because of their experience with the darker side, especially in the eighth house, and someone who can easily connect to other dark sides. Like it's like a heart, like an unshakable person, right? Very like someone who's just unshakable emotionally. And when we add Mars and Pluto, um, Pluto represents the eighth house, right? Like, I can't stress it. I haven't really talked that much about the eighth house. This is the house of Scorpio, Pluto, Scorpio and Pluto. So it's like, um, having Lilith there is very, very important. It means that you definitely need to protect yourself spiritually too, Anna. Very important to watch out for like the energy vampire types. And then having Neptune in the eighth house also by itself at 7, that's like another. I don't know if you saw my post a while ago of like indicators of psychic abilities or high intuition. That's another huge one, like where you feel super in tune with just everything that's going on. That's cray cray. So yeah, Mars and Pluto, it's just like very ambitious. Um, but it can also create lots of, especially when it comes to your goals. Very, very love for travel. But quick to anger. For Cancer, quick to anger, right? And it can make someone even violent, right? Like warrior energy for sure. So it's really important for anyone with Mars, Pluto, Mars, Uranus to like figure out a way to fucking work out, or a creative or physical out. With Mars, Mars, Pluto, it's like maybe you were like an athlete or are like are an athlete. Like it's really important for you to have like, especially in the sixth house, the daily routine for you to have something where you can sweat or just like something to get the energy out in your daily routine. Um, it's very good for like charisma. It's making someone, have like a lot of like sexual power, not like sex. I'm talking about like, like sexual energy, like prana. And yeah, it gives someone the ability to like really evolve rapidly, to transform rapidly. Um, and also is very like, I think like Mars and Pluto is in fire signs, giving someone a great potential for success. Um, but the whole thing, Pluto in the sixth house, is about moving towards being of service in this lifetime, right? So moving away from the I, moving towards the me, or the we, excuse me. um, so when you can do that and find like a path that through the path, it's like for me, like with astrology, like I learn about like it's a spiritual path in itself and it's my job, right? That's very, very important. And I don't think there's any, yeah, okay, there is. Like especially that these are both retrograde planets, it's really important that you harness your power for good because there can be lots of karmic issues, um you know potentially related to crime, slavery, rape, torture, stuff like that, violence, like domestic violence, just violence in general. What else is Mars and Pluto? Like really fucking dark themes, as dark as it gets, right? So it's not in aspect to the nose. I'm just saying like this is like really fucking important stuff. Um, really, really, yeah, like just intense energy, raw, powerful energy, and yeah, it makes you able to like really influence others, like a very good salesperson. So you gotta like watch out, like because like there's lots of karma for you. Like you have this ability, like um, to be very, very successful, but like just like eh, to not obviously you know this, but like I'm just saying it like it'd be very, very bad karma to use this ability you have, especially with the warm Cancer rising. Oh, she's so cute and so harmless. Um, right? And Cancer risings do great in business. Cancers do, suns do too, right? Because they have that intuition built in. They know who to trust. They see things. So this is also a really good chart for business, right? But yeah, like overall, and yeah, it makes your second house of money ruled by your sun, the first house. So it's good for money. But yeah, it's like just really important. Like the karmic consequences of like screwing people over can be really, really bad. And yeah, super ambitious. Um, but just making sure you're not like trampling over other people to get to the top. And but like the thing is, it's in the sixth house. So it's like it's all about selflessness. And you might feel a little bit of blockages if you're moving because your south node is in Capricorn. So the money, all that, fame, success, that kind of energy, it's there. It's been there, done that. So it's very important to, you know, to understand that like, especially if you love astrology or something like that, understand that, you know, you're very young and that the world is going to be more and more astrology pro, but that doesn't even fucking matter. What matters is like if you love it or if you love something in this field, to go all in. Use that Pluto conjunct Mars. Obsessive, it's like an obsessive power, right? So yeah, use that in a good way. But also, yeah, like I said, it's very quick to anger. So like you can't let frustration, resentment, jealousy, all these things build up inside. You need to like have like a good way of expressing anger, a proper way. Okay. So then that same Mars is opposite Saturn. Well. Mars opposite Saturn is very difficult, very fucking frustrating. I don't have it, but I said it like I did. Um, but also Mars retrograde is very, very interesting. I literally made a post about it yesterday, didn't I? So you know, I want to talk about that first. So Mars retrograde in the sixth house, and we're piecing together your past life story little by little. So I'm just gonna read what I wrote yesterday. So I said, if you're born during Mars retrograde, you may grapple with issues relating to energy, drive, ambition, autonomy, leadership, and manifestation. This shifts the outward thrust of energy, characteristic of Mars, and directs it inward. You'll tend to expend a lot of energy reliving internally your past experiences. Because you are constantly in the past, you may inflict past life. So this is what's so interesting about like the retrograde Mercury, Venus, and Mars is like the idea of like putting past life, inflicting past life roles upon the people in your present life environment. So there's a strong tendency to place priority upon fulfilling your spiritual desires, resulting in neglect of the physical body's need. I could totally see that with your chart. But like it's in the sixth house, so you need to fucking like work the physical body, right? Yoga would be like amazing for you because it combines that like that earth energy a little bit more, brings that balance. Kundalini yoga. Um, intentional focus on holistic growth is needed. Sexual experiences can be less fulfilling because your energy is turned inward. However, sex that is deeply rooted in love can be a better use of this energy. Karmically, this indicates that your actions tend to be an effort to recreate situations from your prior lifetimes. You may expend energy in attempting to find people in the present who can symbolize those who fulfilled you in the past. You may try to act out all that you could not express in prior lifetimes. Ooh, that last one. So you may try to act out all that you could not express in prior lifetimes. Hmm. So if we're thinking the South Node is in the seventh house, that there's been a tendency to be too relationship focused. And then it's also in Capricorn, there's a tendency to be in squares, the midheavens. There's a tendency to be too um you know, career focused, not have the work-life balance. Career, I say that like in the sense of like just like inner life, outer life. Career, just in this world we live in now, it's like usually like, you know, career slash social life, like your life out like in the big picture, you know, compared to like your inner life at home or within yourself, right? That's what I'm talking about. Where was it? So I'm gonna reread that. You may try to act out all that you could not express in prior lifetimes. So what could you not express was your truth, that Aquarius moon energy, right? The South Node is ruled by Saturn in the 12th. This is a very karmic lifetime for you. And the fact that it's in the seventh house, in that it's, look, oh wait, am I sharing? Yeah. Um, the fact that the South Node's in the seventh and it's ruled by Saturn, conjunct Venus, which Yeah. Which rules the IC, fourth house, right? Squared by the nodes. I don't want to get too complicated here, but basically, what it's kind of indicating to me is that your relationships are going to be super, super karmic and fated in this lifetime. And there's lots of karmic tests around them. And there could very easily, even though Venus doesn't really have any squares or oppositions, depends if you consider Venus opposite Pluto 9 degrees, or it's like, I, you know, I usually go with 8. Let's see how close it is. 13, 3, 4, 3. Oh shit, exactly 9. Oof. Okay, anyways. So you may try to act out all that you cannot express in prior lifetimes. You may overreact when your efforts fail to produce your desired results. This overreaction can result in coming on too strongly, only to have people pull back. So Mars likes to be, especially in a fire sign, outward, but it pushes a lot of things inward. So that's going back to the whole need to like do things like yoga, or find creative outlets to get that energy flowing and out, right? Now, another way to look at Mars, let me get my goddamn camera working. My face has been hidden for too long. Here I am. So yeah, basically like, where microscope? It's my Red Bull. Oh, good. Unhealthy. Whatever. Whatevs. So, yeah. I mean, another way to look at the Mars retrograde is that you either underacted or overacted in past life, right? My guess is that it's overacted. I was gonna say a mix of two, but I mean, it's like the spirit, cosmos, God, whatever you want to call it, want you to be this like very, very philosophical person that doesn't just go out and act. That really like you spend the first part of your life, you're still in, but you're maturing very quickly if you're getting astrology at your age. Um, Analyzing yourself in terms of your actions. Why do I act this way? Why do I feel like I want to go out and be like this, right? Because in past lives, there could have been a tendency to to like to not think, to not give enough thought to your actions. I swear this is weird when I do this. This broke, by the way, and like broke perfectly. It's like my tool, my spiritual tool. I don't have that many crystals, even though I like them. This is like the main one I use, but I swear this like does something. I just put it on each eye for a few seconds. Should probably turn the brightness down on my computer too. Or where's the FL.UX? I don't know if you know about that app for your computer, but it is really, really good. It like makes the glare way down. It's kind of annoying sometimes though, just because like it'll just turn on and then timing will be all fucked up. It's like, I don't know. It's like on when you don't want to be on and not on when you want to be on. But I just turned on. Okay, it's better. Maybe you even see it. Actually, not. So, yeah. So lots of like reliving of like, yeah, past experiences. Very interesting. So yeah, like I need to like kind of like go back in the past and like, um, resolve things, resolve matters, and act with, you know, act out of true Sagittarian nature, which is what? Truth. So by itself, Pluto conjunct Sag is what? Or Pluto conjunct Mars and Sag is what? And you have Chiron there too. When you're like, I see healer all over you, right? Especially sixth house Chiron, it's like that person's like meant to be a healer on a day-to-day basis, like as their job. Potentially. But you could be like a teacher, a spiritual teacher of some sort. But you have to go through lots of experiences first, right? So travel could be very important for you, but this is where it gets interesting, is that Mars is blocked by Saturn, the two malefic. Um, what does that mean? Well, basically, you might not have traveled as much up to this point as you would like to. Um, and I'm very impressed by, I want to call it your genius, but I'm very impressed by you just overall. But just by the fact that you're so young and that you're able to shake off so much so fast, it just shows me so much. But like, what I'm getting at is that, like having people like in the group, which is amazing opportunity for you, that also see these types of things. I see you in there. I see you probably a little bit shy, but like, be great to. I mean, your thing, like, there's no need to. Or maybe you're so smart that you haven't been showing your face because you didn't want. Oh shit! And maybe I told you that. Did I tell you? Maybe you've been waiting to like really fully reveal, like really reveal a lot about yourself for the reading, which would be fucking genius. Um, okay, look. So Mars opposite Saturn, it's like two steps back, one step forward, two steps back a lot of times. Um, so for some karmic reason, right? Usually it's like it has to do with like violence or sex. You really have to fight hard for what you want out of life, right? And there's frustration, disappointment, setbacks, and it just makes you like really have to just go fucking hard. And things seem like they're blocking you. But this is the thing, is that when you're of service, like your chart is like the perfect chart. It uses a case study of a chart that of a person who, if they live a life of service, like selfless service, which is kind of like one of the emotional needs of Aquarius moon, is to really like be useful to humanity, right? They really need that, especially to like the less fortunate animals, stuff like that, right? Causes. And like, of course, there's like a huge emotional need for friends and for communicating on like big ideas and whatnot. Um, I love Aquarius moon. Aquarius, you have an amazing chart. Like you really do. Like fuck. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, Cancer Aquarius. Yeah. At least from my taste of science. Um, so yeah, like basically it's like just think of everything that gets blocked in your life, um, as there being like some level of fate in there and some lesson to be learned. There can be lots of anger that can come up. Um, so it can lead to like spiteful anger. And it can make someone who can like hold, because it's retrograde and because it's opposite, who can hold on to the anger and it just boils up, boils up, boils up, and then just fucking goes crazy, right? But it's very bad for your health to hold the anger inside yourself. That's why I said you need to work out, you need to get moving, you need to find a way to express yourself, right? To express yourself and to have all the chakras open and yeah, and healthy avenues through which you can express anger. Um, what else about that? Also, some people like it can lead to like really intense, like nasty opposition from other people. Um, there can be bullying, psychological abuse, even like some sexual harassment kind of stuff, stalking, stuff like that, right? And it can lead to depression. Um, so and then that can lead to like what? Self-abuse, right? So it's really important to really work on that self-esteem. Um, Physical exercise, so important. Uh, Being strong or able to defend yourself is really, really big for this one. It gives lots of self-confidence. And um, yeah, like any kind of physical activity that like a martial art would be like literally the best thing for you, right? Or yoga, but like really martial arts, this with the other one is or boxing or whatever, it would be amazing for your self-esteem. And they burn away any of this like stored negative energy. And yeah, so it's also another like showing of like um the rebel. There could be like trouble with authority figures, dad, teachers, whatever, growing up. But this is the great part, is that if you look at like the amount of celebrities that have Mars opposite square Saturn, conjunct Saturn, it's massive. It's a lot. Because you become a master of discipline, determination, and when the Saturn turn comes at 29, and of course, like the early you dive into yourself, things get easier, But like all that difficult energy goes away, and you're left with like this amazing Mars Saturn, right? So it's good in itself. It's just difficult. So like yeah, when you're dealing with some of the stuff there. So I want to dive into the 12th house here. So yeah, as I said, Venus in Gem, in the 12th. So Venus in the 12th, someone who likes to abandon themselves to the unknown a little bit, I guess you could say. Very, very, very good for spirituality. It's a great omen for having like a lantern in the darkness. Um, Sometimes people who have Venus in the 12th can like fail to see the beauty of the present because they can be so focused on the future. Um, but then like the Mars retrograde, it's interesting. Your Mars is in Sagittarius, which is all about the future, but retrograde is all about the past. There could be this like very like interesting like back and forth between past and future, but like where's the present, And then of course being Cancer is about the past, so it's like very interesting. Um, so yeah, it's really important to dive into the secrets of life, the realms of spirituality, and whatnot, and find beauty in those. Um, I told you already, Venus and Gemini, they're flirts. Um, they enjoy, they need to have like an intellectual relationship, an intellectual connection with their partner. They enjoy reading, writing, they're gifted with communication. And because in the 12th house, you can be really gifted with communicating with the other side, right? Um, and bringing like, these like bringing things that are undescribable in human terms, like spiritual concepts, or like being able to actually define them, you know? Like this is very like prominent for Chandler. But then you have Saturn there, which might like kind of create like phobias, like fears with respect to like could also create like issues with the father. but fears with respect to like the darkness in the sense of like the action, like this, like it can create fears of like different random ass phobias, like of like the esoteric realms and um like actually like fear of spirits, like maybe you had experiences with them. uh it's definitely also something that can make someone feel like another indicator of a huge need for you to like protect yourself spiritually. um a huge need to let me think for 1 second. Hold on. Yeah, protect yourself spiritually, and to stick to yourself, and to to honestly, like when I see 12th house Saturn, I'm like it's so important to have a sense of humor about life, you know. Just be able to laugh at the imperfections. 'Cause it's like a really, really difficult placement, right? um because like the 12th also rules fears, right? um so when you have but like I say this, but like Saturn's there alone with like Venus and Jupiter. So this like being so difficult gets pushed down a lot. But on its own, it can create like, yeah, like kind of like like lots of like self limitation, self. I should have had this in my post about self sabotage, not thinking you deserve different things. There was self limitation, like someone who's afraid to dream. But honestly, like um with Jupiter and Venus here, it's like, come on, gets dominated. But they can all coexist at the same time, right? Um, a lot of times with 12th house Saturn, like there's like a stressful 2 hours before birth, like the birth of the actual birth process. There could be some perinatal trauma. Um, so yeah, it can create someone who really isolates themselves a lot. Um, and it's not near the ascendant, so that's good. But yeah, you got to definitely do good things for your health, because I think like Saturn opposite Mars in the 6th and 12th can be difficult for health. Um, so yeah, like really really getting in touch with the psychosomatic, feeling into your body, understanding like when you need rest. Not like I see that much of like the workaholic stuff in your chart, but like just giving your body what it needs, not putting toxins in it and stuff like that. Um, what else? Yeah, and there can be lots of, okay. There can also be like the tendency like to have like guilt or shame that's not yours and hold on to that for someone else. So really like understanding what's yours and what's not yours. I talked about that a little bit earlier, right? Um, yeah, there can be like this whole idea of like suffering in solitude, and even someone who unconsciously enjoys their own suffering, right? Yeah, so like, yeah, really important not to blame yourself for things that have nothing to do with you. Um, there can be also hidden enemies, big thing with 12th house Saturn. And yeah, just as I said before, don't like the best thing is to understand that the fear of the fear is more important than the fear itself. And yeah, just if I don't really see this being something for you because you have all these other really good plants, but like I see them more serious. So this is like how I see this playing out. I see it playing out as like you having, yeah, there's like a really, really big karma with family, with lovers and all that. But I think that it's also giving you like a really serious um connection, or a serious ability, serious, excuse me, what the fuck am I saying? A serious commitment to study the esoteric. That's something I see. Um, so okay, where are we? So yeah, I mean, we continue down the list. I mean, like with love, like Juno's also in Gemini in 12th, so Juno's like kind of like your ideal like love. Um, so yeah, you might feel like lots of karma, lots of fate in your love life. Um, the desire to therefore to merge with your partner, and the need for like variety, stimulation, all that stuff, like that said with the Venus, right? In your relationship, having Venus and Juno in the same sign, it's like Gemini could be a sign that feels comfortable and good, and being able to like talk in your relationships and be really really free and have that like that real good communication with your partner. Um, yeah, and then Mercury there too in Gemini in 12th house. I mean, that's the ultimate like person who is a channel, who has the ability to be a channel. Um, but because you have so many 12th house plants, this can be the house of repressed energies. So I have to say that it's very important how you're raised, like how much love you're given, if you had any issues, like how they were handled as a child. But yeah, Mercury in the 12th house versus Chiron. Yeah, so like there can be like wounds like around like your feelings of truth. Like it can almost be like kind of almost be like gaslighted by society in a sense, which can be very painful. And yeah, I mean, be someone who through the development of the higher mind in different experiences and whatnot, goes out and is able to really, really help other people through the, but it only comes through taking risks, through taking risks, healthy risks, not unhealthy ones, and being balanced. They need to be balanced. But yeah, Mercury in the 12th. This is another indicator of someone who, like I said, it's a house for press energies. So of course you do have two benefics in here, but just the need to spend time alone because you might like not be able to you might confound your thoughts with someone else's, especially when you're in like large groups of people. So, and very good for imagination, psychic abilities, so who can like really understand the zeitgeist of like society and yes, yeah, very psychic. Um, Gemini Mercury's, I love them because they're so smart and I can just like talk like as fast as I want to talk, or slow, whatever. But I never have to worry about them. Like they're always clients I really like because they take notes. They they're very it's indignity Mercury in Gemini, right? So usually a fast talker, someone who loves to conversate. But the thing is in the 12th house, so it's like someone who'd love to conversate about more deep topics than like bullshit, right? Um, so yeah, someone who like definitely like a love for any kind of like for reading. You should get my book, Pisces of 9 Lives. I forgot how many it was, like 12, what, 9 Lives on Amazon. Um, just any kind of media, right? And just like communication in general, and always looking for new ways to enhance your communication. But in the 12th house, it can be a little bit hidden, so you can create kind of like a hidden genius or a hidden, and especially it does trine your mood. right? Which is very, very good. Because it's like the two power each other up. Your brain and your emotions are on the same page. So that's very nice. Um, and then Jupiter also is exact trine to your moon. Damn, that's a real nice one. And Jupiter in Gemini is just like a gifted communicator, you know? And Jupiter in 12th house is someone who is very, very introspective, who searches for the meaning of the life within themselves. They have this like deep well of optimism they can always turn back to in hard times. They can be a little bit, what's the word? They can be a little bit isolated, like they can isolate a little bit. Um, I do that shit too. A little bit reclusive. But yeah, I mean it's a really, really good one to have Jupiter there. It kind of counteracts some of the pessimism that 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 Saturn can bring, and it can make it so you're able to. And my girlfriend has both of these in her 12th too, so it's like always interesting to think of like how the Saturn one and the Jupiter one play out. But Jupiter in 12th house is literally just like spiritual protection. So it actually does gift you the spiritual protection, but you can't take it too far, right? You still have to do things to protect yourself spiritually because you do have your Black Moon Lilith in the 8th and Saturn in the 12th. And yeah, just makes you like a very versatile student and teacher. 29 degrees Jupiter means that you're like ending a karmic cycle as it relates to growth, maturation of your like of something that has to do with philosophy, truth, spirituality, and it all wraps around back to the North Node um in the first, which is like new beginnings, right? So you see how we kind of like went around, and when we start when we go around we go okay now from the 12th to the first, which it would be in the 12th in a Placidus chart, the North Node, which would make sense also, right? Because it would be speaking about just how spirituality and being of service. It's saying similar things to what your Pluto is saying. Being of service, super, super important to you in this lifetime. You're here to help. You're here to learn, you're here to help. Um, so yeah, you're on a fast track for sure. And I think the sun rising helps you kind of like blow past it just helps it just gives yeah how you talk about that one but yeah it tends to give like a lot of confidence um and you'll definitely come across. I know I said you wouldn't come across like is that Cancerian um because your moon's in Aquarius. I guess like that's kind of true, but like, at the same time like people that don't really know you, like your midheaven's in Aries, right? So like if you're like how like like if you do or if you like I don't know, I purposely haven't looked at your Instagram, have like an online thing going, which is showing your chart is a big possibility. um you Aries is what people would see the midheaven, you know so the Cancer part, it's kind of low key, but it's also like it is it is a big part of you. But yeah, this is like king queen energy, right? It's like thinking about being born at sunrise gets you noticed. So you have to watch out for people being jealous of you. A bright personality, like you make a strong impression, without even trying. So sometimes you feel like you have to hide. Especially the Aquarius moon. I kind of want to be noticed. Um, and yeah, it's just very good for confidence. Someone who's like very, very aware of like their power and influence. Um, so it's yeah, really important to stay grounded, not let that get to your head. And yeah, a lot of people have this like can be a little bit arrogant, prideful. I don't think you're like that. I don't really know. I don't really know you like that. Um, but yeah, like basically like one-on-one relationships are where you can like help yourself balance this out. Um, but like once again, Has to be the right fucking kind. Um, and yeah, it just makes it gives lots of luck, makes you a winner. People want to be associated with you. People want to follow you. People want to, there is a need to learn humility if that's not there, but it's in Cancer, right? So power comes through you, not from you. Remember that. Comes through you. So yeah, like in Cancer, it's just gonna make like if that was an Aries, like it'd be crazy, right? But in Cancer, it's just you know about Cancer already, right? It makes it a little bit more shy, a little bit more unassuming, a little bit more um yeah, feminine. And you're really trying to become like that. You're trying to become more in touch with your feminine side in this lifetime. So that could be, through being a mother, could be through um, it's not saying that career isn't important, right? Because you have your midheaven in Aries, so you're meant to be like it's very entrepreneurial energy. But yeah. Um, oh, also Jupiter conjunct Mercury makes it's just giving you even more of a gift of gab when it comes to communication. And I want to see what fixed stars are there too. This is a long reading. Okay, I get it. Okay, so yep. Chiron, I already talked about a good amount. What else could I add about the fact that it's in Sag? Yeah, I mean, a lot of times people have that, like they feel like insecure about their beliefs in their visions and their idea of what truth is, usually coming from the family. So they have to like work hard to go and find it. Um, and yeah, so spirituality very, very important. Um, Especially if you had religion pushed on you in any way. And it can make you someone who like wants to like travel the whole world, to just like really truly understand the meaning of life, you know? And yeah. Current success also could be like medical in the sense that you could have experienced something, some kind of like physical issue as a child. Um, there can also be like a feeling of some people have that they feel physically inadequate. Um, and yeah, like I said, like it's all about like 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 healing yourself and healing other people on a daily basis, right? And then vertex in the sixth house, same shit. Like inside your doorway to higher awareness is through these physical slash metaphoric travels. This is a metaphoric travel, reading a book by Carl Jung or by anyone, like any different kind of like philosophy. uh is it metaphoric travel or talking to someone who has a completely different worldview, like but like really being of service is all over your chart. So if you can find a career, a job where you can be like literally doing like something similar to what I do, you might already have a job, so I'm sorry if you do, but like um I'm not saying astrologer, but you have it all over. I mean, I haven't even like really like talked about like Neptune in eighth and Uranus in the eighth alone. Like Neptune in the eighth, like I said, like you can transcend daily life through your metaphysical pursuits. Like through your meditation, you can like reach such a high level. It's unbelievable. Um, and just like become fully psychic, where you can just sense the undercurrents of everything, and it's all connected to your moon. But like the thing with that moon is that it has to be activated. So I've seen this in charts of people, although it's been more Capricorn because you're so young. Yeah. So with the Aquarius ones, I haven't had many of those. So I'm curious to talk to you to see how that is. But with the Capricorn ones who have like the Neptune conjunctions, I noticed they had to be like activated either through effort or by like some transit. Which by the way, um usually okay, so you have the reading and the follow-up, right? Nearly every single person gets, instead of just that, so I'm gonna give you the offer right now before I forget. You have to remind me because I'm gonna give you a reduced price. So basically, right now it's just the follow up. It's just an hour of us talking live about the reading, right? If you like, if you feel called, this is the birth chart. This is the book of your life, right? The book of your life. But the current astrology reading is the current chapter, right? And it's completely different. I go over like every single thing in predictive astrology that I know, whether it's slow return, um, and and that usually takes around 2 hours. So it becomes like 3 hours with the current or with the follow up, but it's really worth it. Like the only people who have not done it are people who where there's just like financial reasons. But everyone who's done it's loved it. I record it. I send it, privately to you, obviously, because your face is in it. And yeah, it's just like a really, really great like opportunity to understand the energetic weather ahead for the next year plus. Um, so let me know if you want to do that. It's usually like 320 or something like that. I'm happy to do it for 250. And that's like I said, 2 hours. Sometimes it goes over. And yeah, so it becomes like a 3 hour total session. And the beauty of it is that we move from the follow up or from the follow up. So your chart is just fresh in my brain right into the current, and it's just perfect. So anyways, back to the chart. I'm going a long fucking time, but like, yeah. So like, just this opposition of 6th and 12th of like, like being of service, like having like being in touch with the imaginal realm, spending time alone, but then like taking all that and being of service and giving a contribution to the world through that's very unique to your Aquarius moon, where you're also through in your life going through like this process of individual emotional or emotional individualization where you're understanding that I'm not like everyone else, I'm different, and I'm not going to try to just be like other people, right? um the faster you realize that, um, the better off you are, right? Because a lot of people, if you're still in America, are clones, pretty much. Not everyone, but a lot of people. Um, so yeah. Okay. What else? What else? What else? What else? So yeah, I guess let's talk about. So I think I made it very clear about like the kind of relationship that you do not need. um Something that holds you back from the understanding of yourself and the understanding of your highest truth and of your highest being, of your highest potential. But what you do need is yeah, someone who's really driven, but who's also like spiritual. I think you being with someone spiritual is very, very, very like it's gonna be very, very karmic regardless. So it's not like what I'm saying is like you're gonna be with who you're gonna be with, but also just like to take your time, really take your time with that stuff. So Palace. Um, what should I talk? I talk about Sirius, talk about Juno. Vesta. So Vesta is like kind of it's one of the four major asteroids. So kind of like Saturnish. So it's 11th in Taurus. Basically, that makes someone very good in terms of like working with a group. Um, which is very good. Your first moon does appreciate that a lot. And someone who can like work in a very predictable, like consistent manner, which not having Earth in your chart, having Vesta there is quite nice. And also there's a need to really define like your personal beliefs, which is like Mars in Sagittarius, and what truth is to you, which I think you're probably going through that right now. And just always being open, always being open to being wrong and to like, enter each day with the attitude like, I don't know shit, even if you learned the craziest shit the day before. So part of fortunes in Pisces ninth house, that means that you are at your best. You're in your joy, um, when you are traveling, learning, like the whole Sagittarius stuff, philosophy, but it's mixed with Pisces. So it's like me, Pisces Sag. But also like when you're like really getting deep with service and with spirituality, um, you'll feel it in your soul when you're on when you're in your purpose, right? And it might not. And remember this line. If I don't know how much you watch my content. I have no idea. Um, I just respond to comments for like an hour and a half, but it's just a lot of stuff to do, right? But I appreciate that if you do watch my stuff and comment. I didn't see you comment for the last two, but yeah, I don't know. Basically, you will know when you are headed in the right direction. Like you will feel in your soul, the world will give you a feedback loop of like, this is correct. And I'm telling you, you can talk to any astrologer ever, this much six, this much 12. You're meant to experience life. You're meant to learn. You're meant to be open-minded. You're meant to not judge others, which Aquarius moons tend to not do. And you're really, really meant to dive into that spiritual realm because you're young, Anna. You're young as fuck. So like, I'm 32. Right? I'm 32. I'm 25 for life. And like what I'll say about that is that like there's this thing, especially if you grew up in America, where like at a certain age you just like, and you have that energy of really not giving a fuck, but like people like really like care, like it's always been so weird to me with all the Aquarius energy I have and Sag energy because I just don't give a shit. I've lived so many places, like fuck, I like I'd say like of like my followers on my personal account, like maybe only like 30% are people that I went to like high school slash college with, the rest are people I've met outside that. So it's like really spreading your wings in that sense. And yeah, like remembering that first house north node is a quest towards identity. So you're really looking for identity because that's been blocked. And leaving behind past life habits of completely submerging yourself in others. And yeah, like the balance between like self-assertion and giving to others. I'm gonna have a chewing tobacco. Don't judge me. It's the sexy kind. It's a lot. Citrus, citrus. Come on. And I'm not addicted. I said that yesterday. Um. So yeah. Um. And yeah, in Cancer, what else can I say about that? Yeah, overcoming inner pride also. Um. Learning to tolerate your own failures. Yeah, because South Node in Capricorn, now I'm looking over some notes, things I may have forgotten, can be hard, like have this tendency to make it really be very like self-critical, right? And yeah, like you had lots of past lives where you had to work really hard for people's respect and just in general. So it's also really important for you to learn humility, especially with your sun rising. Am I wrong? Let's say one sec. I opened a message on accident. Okay. Okay, where let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, I was right. Okay, I swear I never looked at a photo of you. And like I never like actually like clicked on a photo and looked. Or not that I remember. Yeah, you're very beautiful. Um, I'm trying to like read any energy I can read. I usually don't do this, but I already saw you. It's like, okay, finally you show your eyes in that first mask photo. Oh, I see the Cancer. Damn, my eyes are a little bit fucking like hurting. But I'm literally looking at like staring at your eyes in a photo where you have a mask on. I can't show. I should show. I'm sure my camera didn't pick that up at all. But yeah, I see that energy. So yeah, like it's hard through Instagram. I see something like so ambitious in your eyes. It's hard with a man. You keep blinking. Try to put the brightness down. And I can't fucking see. Yeah, so it's gonna help you a ton. Um, you really induce like a lot of calm in your like calm and confidence. But like I could see how being from where you're from and growing up where you grew up, whatever. Um, I don't know, maybe like we'll talk about it, but like I could sense like pressures, from different people and like the whole thing I was talking about before about like how it just starts to just not matter and you like as the eighth house moon you grow like it's difficult, right? And you grow a lot emotionally, you evolve, and a lot of people don't stay the same, and it's difficult. Okay, but I was gonna. Okay, so yeah, just like nurturing other people with that Cancer energy, and also like you're meant to be a leader. You're meant to blaze your own trail, your own unique trail. So really important to find, yeah, the balance. Um, like a lot of balances between Cancer and Capricorn, male and feminine, inner outer, and then like higher mind, lower mind, Gemini, Sag, Aries, Libra. Like there's lots of axes that are activating your chart. Um, okay, so I haven't talked about Palace, like third eye, fifth house, Scorpio. Come on, like Palace and Scorpio is just someone who wants to like just get to the bottom of things, like the investigator, like the really really sharp third eye, and just like ruthless in like your pursuit of the truth, like a detective, a psychologist, naturally. And in the fifth house, it's like about creativity. You can have like lots of original ideas and be like lots of like talent, artistic talents. And yeah, and now I need to see something that I need to look at that I just learned. To stay on my computer. Okay, so out of bounds planets. Mars is out of bounds. Interesting. So yeah, that can kind of make it so like the Mars and is there any contra parallels? 18, Neptune. Hey Esme. Speaking of a Cancer, here's my Cancer. Mm, um, that's Neptune, right? And then that is Venus. Ooh, so that is like it's kind of like Neptune. So this is very interesting. So Neptune in a contraparallel. Don't worry about what that means, as my Sagittarius goes and explains it to you. Basically, in astrology, we look at the longitude, right? But we don't look at like the latitude, right? So what it's basically saying is that yeah, you don't have like an aspect between Neptune and Venus. Uh, like there's no aspect. Well, actually, there is. What am I saying? Is there? Wait, hold on. No. Yeah, yeah, they train each other. So this is really interesting. So that's like extreme creative energy, like the ability to like be like a creator, like the person, like for example, if you're a painter who can paint, but also like who has like that amazing imagination and inspiration to create like the amazing ideas, right? Neptune's like the imagination. If you're a musician, like the inspiration. But Venus is like the actual like ability to do it. But because it's 12th house Venus, it can be like kind of hidden and held back with Saturn, which can kind of hold back some of those talents. So it's really about finding those talents within yourself, which comes from a lots of trial and error with tons of different shit. So just trying a lot. You have to just try a lot. Um, but the contra parallel is kind of like it's like one is here, ecliptic, right? And one's here. So there is like um one's minus 18, one's plus 18. So that's kind of like an opposition. And that goes to this idea that I've talked about of in love, like it can create a sort of fogginess around sense of self and sense of identity. And it can also it furthers what I was saying about the need to really like take it easy when in love and relationships and stuff like that. Um, not over idealize, really get second opinions from maybe your Virgo, your Taurus friend, if you have any, or Capricorn, you know, um, because there can be like the rose-colored glasses thing that comes up in love. So just something to keep in mind. Um, and yeah, I just think like your career, your dharma in general is really, 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 really philosophical. You're really trying to find truth and find a career path that might be very unique, um, that you can learn a lot. Okay, let's get the asteroids and fixed stars and asteroids and finish out. Okay. Okay. So look at that. So what did I fucking say, Anna, about astrology? What did I say? You have Urania rising. That is one of the asteroids associated with astrology. And it's like exact. Am I tripping or wait, hold up. 27, 24, 24. Okay, so that one's that one. Okay, I need to like get rid of these because I cannot see there's too many. Okay, 21, 21, 17. Okay, go back to it. So yeah, I mean you have yeah, Uranus is like close to your ascendant, so it's 3 degrees away. It's not as close as I thought, but still, it's close enough to where it's like, you could really, really be about that. Um, and have it, be someone who makes a career out of something like astrology, um, or human design or something of, of that sort. Then let's see, anything else? Nope, not here, not there. Fama on your Neptune, like fame could come in a way linked to that imagination, linked to that spiritual ability that you have, that real like just special ability. And then you have Fortuna on your fucking midheaven, which is another indicator of potential fame, honestly, or just like fortune when it comes to um all things career, right? Don't judge me, I need to spit. Um, yeah, because Fortuna is the goddess of fate and fortune, so it could make someone like born into great wealth or you know acquire great wealth. So mm, yeah, just like lots of like it's a very like lots of like good luck and fate when it comes to your career. Um, there can be like a kind of like a devil may care attitude towards fate and luck, and a tendency to like risk everything and gamble too much. Um, so you gotta watch out for that. And let's see. I need to see if I can find anything on this one. I just add this one to my list. No, it's not part of fortune. Mm. Where the fuck is it? Uh, Here, finally. Yeah, so it's named after the Roman gods of good luck. It just makes you really lucky, unless you like mentally self-sabotage, right? Um, very optimistic, glass half full, and yeah, so it goes back to like how important it is for you to understand that you're going to have a very special purpose, and to yeah, really make sure that you surround yourself with the right people. They don't hold you back. And to really look at that closely. What else? Yeah, here it is. Fucking, this is the one. The daughter of Jupiter shows where you find literal luck in her fortune on your fucking midheaven. Like, come on. Um, so it's like, yeah, very powerful to have that on your midheaven. Exact degree. Okay. And just about done here. Hmm. Okay. I knew there was gonna be some stuff with Gemini. Is that Beetlejuice, Jupiter, and Sappho? Yeah, so it's like the ability to like wow, it's like one of my longest readings in a while. But communicate like in a very beautiful way, like think poetic, right? Um there's Sappho and Mercury, and then there's Aldebaran with Saturn. That one is very curious to me because that's one of the four royal ones that Saturn isn't always. So yeah, it can speak to lots of things. Good memory, legal abilities, domestic and material success, losses through mercurial friends. So what does that say, right? Like friends who are too much in the kind of here and now, gossip, stuff like that. People who aren't deep enough. Um, could also make someone very, yeah, sarcastic, a strange mind, eloquence. It's also, yeah, it's one of the most, lucky asteroids that there is. Um, Sappho with Mercury. Hmm. Yeah, just very, very good with it's also very sexual. Um, one who can create beauty through their words. Yeah, like being able to, yeah, it's kind of sexual. Um, where the fuck? Where's the Mercury one? Okay. Yeah. So you adore creative, emotionally caring, kind, open-minded, extremely warm, and sensitive woman. You're drawn to those who make you laugh. I think woman or men, whatever. You know, it's yeah. You're drawn to those who make you laugh without shame or restrictions, and with whom you can converse for hours on end. You despise boredom and are attracted to those who keep you on your toes. So, like, yeah, whether you're painting, writing, or doing anything else that needs the use of your hands, you make the most inventive, impressive works. Um, you may fall in love with anyone who's fascinating and makes you smile. Someone who motivates you to write and create. So writing, I keep seeing writing also. Um, is so someone does that as worthy of your company. Due to your innovative, energetic, and versatile character, women may be interested in you, or men may be interested in you, either or wanting to get close enough that you'll notice them and speak to them. The last one was, I think, Beetlejuice or Jupiter. Is Capella not doing anything here? Hmm. Yeah, and then Beetlejuice is conjunct Mercury and Jupiter. So here, that's one of the wealth stars. Um, so it says with Jupiter and Beetlejuice, serious and studious mind, shrewd and profitable business dealings, great honor in the church or law. And I always think when it says church in these old descriptions, that could also be spirituality. And Mercury, uh, serious, studious, scientific, and literary fame through writings or engravings in metal, favorable for health, liable to accident. Yeah, someone who can really like very, very creative energy and can, really go places like with that creativity. Okay, and the serious, yeah, it's not really close enough. And there's Psyche. But by itself, I might as well just say Psyche. Like it's pretty close to your ascendant. That makes someone like just stay young. Like they just like they just stay looking young even when they get older. It's very nice. And you just dodged the bullet of having Antares on your Pluto, so that's nice. And that's pretty much it. And this is one of my longest readings ever. Like, I don't know what this karma is, but I went a long fucking time. Holy shit. So, wow, 2 hours, 30 minutes. Really intense chart, or just like a lot to it. But I hope you enjoyed, and my camera just stopped. Yeah, hope you enjoyed, and we shall talk soon. Thank you so much for your patience. Is my cat behind me? That's not this thing. Where's my cat? So yeah, we shall be in touch, and let me know about wanting to do like the current astrology one also with the follow-up. No pressure, obviously. And yeah, ciao.